I welcome you to this lesson. My name is Teacher John. I'm going to take you through science, like primary 4, term 3. We're going to look at the second topic. We finished topic 1. Now we are on topic 2, term 3, P4. And the topic is vectors and diseases. Vectors and diseases is our topic number 2. What are vectors? Vectors are living organisms that spread germs which cause diseases. Vectors are living organisms that spread germs that cause diseases. Any living organism that spreads germs which cause diseases shall regard to it as a vector. We have a table. This table shows a summary of vectors and diseases. So we have vector and disease. The first vector is cockroach. Cockroach, mind the spelling of the word cockroach. Cockroaches spread diseases like cholera, diarrhea, typhoid, and dysentery. I repeat, cockroaches spread diseases like cholera, diarrhea, typhoid, then dysentery. The second vector is houseflies. Houseflies spread diseases like trachoma, cholera, diarrhea, dysentery, typhoid, and polio. These diseases are spread by houseflies. Then we have sassafly. Sassaflies spread a disease called sleeping sickness. Sassaflies spread a disease called sleeping sickness. Then vector number 4 is female Anopheles mosquito. Female Anopheles mosquito. Female Anopheles mosquito spreads a disease called malaria. Then number 5, we have female Culex mosquito. Female Culex mosquito. Female Culex mosquito spreads a disease called elephantiasis. Elephantiasis is spread by female Culex mosquito. And when we talk about mosquitoes, we emphasize the word female because male mosquitoes don't spread diseases. The reason why male mosquitoes don't spread diseases is because they don't feed on blood. For them, they feed on plant juice. Then we have female tiger mosquito. Female tiger mosquito. Female tiger mosquito spreads a disease called yellow fever. Yellow fever is spread by female tiger mosquito. Number 7, we have black flies. Black flies. Black flies are spread a disease called river blindness. River blindness. Number 8, we have rat fleas. Rat fleas. Rat fleas spread a disease called bubonic plague. Bubonic plague. Mind the spelling of the word plague. Bubonic plague. Then we have ticks. Number 9, ticks spread 2 diseases. One is called typhus fever. Typhus fever. Then we have a disease called relapsing fever. A relapsing fever. Number 10, we have a vector called rabid dog or rabid cat. Rabid dog or rabid cat they can also be called mad dogs or mad cats. Dogs which are mad, they are rabid, they spread a disease called rabies. They spread a disease called rabies. Number 11, we have water snails. Water snails spread bilharziasis. Water snails spread bilharziasis. So this is a summary of vectors and the diseases they spread. We are going to start looking at one by one. But before that, we need to know how do vectors spread diseases to people. How vectors spread diseases to people. There are three ways through which vectors spread diseases to people. One, through bites. Through bites. So when vectors bite you, you get diseases. For example, if you are bitten by a female Anopheles mosquito, you'll get a disease called malaria. If you are bitten by a rabid dog or a rabid cat, you'll get a disease called rabies. So vectors, some vectors spread diseases through bites. They spread diseases through bites. Then some spread diseases through contaminating food. They contaminate food, and when you eat contaminated food, you get diseases. Like, for example, cockroaches, houseflies, they contaminate food. And when we eat contaminated food, we get diseases. So we can say through food contamination, through food contamination, through food contamination. Then, number three, through direct body contact. Through direct body contact. Through direct body contact. Through direct body contact. There are vectors, when they come into direct body contact with you, you get diseases. Like, for example, houseflies. When a housefly falls into your eyes, you get a disease called trachoma. You get a disease called trachoma. So, as I say, we are going to look at vectors one by one, and the first vector we're going to look at is a cockroach or cockroaches. 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 Now, cockroaches spread diseases like diarrhea, typhoid, cholera, and dysentery. And when a cockroach falls in flour, the one normally called flour, but the correct pronunciation is flour, can be, when they fall there, the flour blocks the spiracles, the one they use for breathing, and they die. The question will be asked to you, why do cockroaches die when they fall in flour? They die because the flour blocks the spiracles which help them to breathe. So that's how our cockroaches are affected whenever they fall in flour. So we look at diseases spread by cockroaches. Diseases spread by cockroaches. Diseases spread by cockroaches. Diseases spread by cockroaches. One, we have cholera. Cholera. Number two, typhoid, diarrhea, then we have dysentery. You can even add amoebic dysentery. Amoebic dysentery. Amoebic dysentery. Now, amoebic dysentery is spread by cockroaches. And why do cockroaches die when they fall in flower? Why do cockroaches die when they fall in flower? So we shall say their spiracles. Their spiracles are blocked. Their spiracles are blocked by the flower. Their spiracles are blocked by the flower. So once the spiracles block the flower, once the spiracles are blocked by the flower, then they stop breathing. And once they stop breathing, then they die. Next, look at diseases. How cockroaches, or ways of controlling cockroaches. We've looked at diseases spread by cockroaches. How can we control cockroaches? Ways of controlling cockroaches. Ways of controlling cockroaches. Now, we have different ways of controlling cockroaches. One is by covering food. By covering food. When you cover food, you prevent cockroaches from spreading germs on the food. Remember, we've said some vectors spread diseases through food contamination. So when you cover food, you are preventing cockroaches from spreading germs. Then, number two, by spraying cockroaches. By spraying cockroaches. By spraying cockroaches with insecticides. Spraying cockroaches with insecticides. Now when you spray cockroaches with insecticides, these insecticides kill these cockroaches, and once they are killed, they will not be in a position to spread diseases. How cockroaches spread diseases? How cockroaches spread diseases? How cockroaches spread diseases to people. How cockroaches spread diseases to people. Number one is through food contamination. Through food contamination. Through food contamination. Through food contamination. So, when cockroaches come to the food, because they have a hairy body, they are able to spread. They are able to contaminate the food, and once you eat that food contaminated by cockroaches, then you get diseases like diarrhea, typhoid, cholera, dysentery. We have also said amoebic dysentery. Amoebic dysentery. Then, I also say through their hairy body. Ending. How do cockroaches how are cockroaches able to spread germs? How are cockroaches able to spread germs? Using their hairy body. Using their hairy body. So cockroaches have a hairy body which carry germs. Next, we look at the life cycle of a cockroach. 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 Cockroaches undergo a incomplete life cycle. Cockroaches undergo incomplete life cycle or metamorphosis. Now, when we say cockroaches undergo incomplete life cycle, this is what we mean. They undergo 3 stages of development. They undergo 3 stages. They undergo 3 stages of development. They undergo 3 stages of development. They undergo 3 stages of development. That's what we are saying, they undergo incomplete life cycle. They carry out 3 stages of development. For example, we have the first stage is eggs. These eggs will develop into nymph. eggs will develop into nymph. Then the nymph will develop into adult. The nymph will develop into adult. Now, if you look at your booklet on page 21, there is a diagram showing the life cycle of a cockroach. You will see the egg case, then we have the nymph, then lastly adult. So in other words, a cockroach is carried out 3 stages of development. We have eggs, these eggs develop into nymph, then the nymph develop into adult. Then down there is a diagram showing the life cycle of a cockroach. Next, we look at structural differences between an adult cockroach and a nymph. How is an adult cockroach different from a nymph? How is an adult cockroach? How is an adult cockroach different from a nymph? How is an adult cockroach different from a nymph? So we shall say how is an adult cockroach different from a nymph? So we shall say an adult cockroach has well-developed wings. An adult cockroach has well-developed wings, while a nymph has underdeveloped wings. A nymph has underdeveloped wings. So if you look at the wings of an adult cockroach, they are well developed, while the wings of a nymph are underdeveloped. That is the structural difference between a nymph and an adult cockroach. Something you need to note: how do cockroaches protect themselves? How do cockroaches protect themselves? And you put a question mark. By producing a bad smell. So cockroaches protect themselves by producing a bad smell. By producing a bad smell. So when you touch cockroaches, they will produce a bad smell. They produce that bad smell to protect themselves. So that's the end of our lesson. There is an activity after this lesson which you have to answer in your booklet. That is on page 22. Page 22 has an activity about this lesson. Then, in case you do not understand anything else, there's something you do not get clear and you need more explanation, my telephone number is 0705 74 1638. Teacher John. You call me at any time, I'll explain. Thank you.